Do you remember that feeling from college when you just freshly started a year, you knew you had an exam in a couple of weeks and you were just like, yeah, I can do this, I'm gonna work on it every single day, and then only started the week before the test? That's something that I've been doing with this Hindi challenge now for the second time. If you're new to my channel, hi, my name is Ivana and I'm doing a fluent Hindi challenge because I've wanted to learn Hindi for years. I live in India, I live in Bangalore, but I never really got around to it. Now, 2020 has given us plenty of time, no? So I'm trying to use that time very wisely by learning fluent Hindi before December 2020. This is the second challenge. In case you missed the first challenge, the link is down in the description below. And for this second challenge, I am supposed to reenact famous Bollywood scenes. Now, that sounds quite simple, especially because I picked 5 Bollywood scenes, which are really famous, but they only had a couple of lines for the dialogue. So for me, it sounded only like I had to memorize a couple of lines, of which I understood half of them already. But when I met with my friend Nidhi, who has an amazing YouTube channel herself where she teaches sales, personal development, and business consulting, I understood that this was not going to be as straightforward as I thought.
Okay, but any which way, let's structure it here to do. Till you are confident, we don't work on this. Okay.
But then there turned out to be a different problem, which is the speed at which Hindi is spoken. So I turned to a foreigner who already mastered Hindi to become better at the speed and melody of the language. I am here with Haley. She has an amazing Instagram account and an amazing travel blog. I will link everything down in the description below because I definitely wanted to introduce you to her as well. Haley, can you also introduce yourself?
Like she said, my name is Haley. I came to India the first time in 2015, specifically to learn Hindi. Since then, I've lived in India about 3 years total over the past 5 years. I've studied abroad there at Manipal University. I worked there professionally as a researcher and I worked for some media companies there. And I've also traveled to 30 cities and maybe 23 states across India.
Next level! You're seriously next level. She not only speaks fluent Hindi but also Urdu and a little bit of Marathi. So how did you learn Hindi then?
I learned formally in a course. So I studied in a language school in Jaipur, and they had a rule in this school for foreigners that no English was allowed. So even though I spoke zero Hindi whatsoever from day one, when I set foot in the door, I could only speak if I was speaking in Hindi. I learned Hindi really quickly. Like by the end of 2 months, I was pretty conversationally fluent.
Okay, so you're hardcore my role model. Hashtag goals. What did you find the most difficult part of the language learning?
That the sentence orders are different. But then the second hardest part is that Hindi has like a really great grammar system that's systematic. But the whole point of learning it is so that you can unlearn it. Because the way people
yeah. Because people speak very different Hindi in real life than in the books actually.
You really only know that you've gotten great in Hindi when you learn how to break the rules in the right way.
That is very true. Working with Haley, I uncovered a lot of Hindi mysteries that a native speaker doesn't worry about. I learned that he means only, which is used to emphasize certain moments or actions. Also, Haley taught me some tricks on how to pick up the pace of the language and get the melody right.
The only foreign element of it is that like the melody of it is different.
Okay. So how?
Like all the words are there, the grammar is there. Like, wait, maybe try reciting it again a little faster.
Little faster? I think that defines the native speaker. They will have this certain melody to their sentences, especially Hindi has that, and they will have a certain speed of speaking, which makes it sound authentic or native.
Yeah, I think we don't need all of that. Isko connect karne ke liye we start from here.
If you mess that up, everybody knows that you are not a native speaker. A huge obstacle, if you would call it like that I didn't anticipate at all with this Bollywood challenge was that exactly 1 week before my test, I realized that I should make these scenes look as authentic as possible, which also means putting on a wig for the male characters. Luckily, I was still in time to order that wig on Amazon, but then I had a different issue of how to coordinate the backgrounds, all the costumes, and even more importantly, getting the gestures and the facial expressions of the actors right, which is something that I think is a talent on its own, because India and particularly Bollywood actors, they have these certain movements which make them look even more Indian. So that was fun trying to get that under control as well. First person who I am meeting since the lockdown, because Nidhi is helping me to practice for the scenes. We have this one dialogue from Jab we met. Nidhi, how do you think it's going?
I think it's going a little slow for now, but we'll figure it out. We'll have things in place soon.
Nidhi really gave me the confidence to do this because she doesn't make me feel ashamed when I make mistakes. I went on to watch the scenes even more and copy some of the gestures and facial expressions, which was super fun. There was also some procrastinating, but in the end, I shot for at least 5 hours to get all the scenes as right as I possibly could. Things we do for a good scene. I'm standing on a chair now, actually. Do I look like Big B already? Okay. आज मेरे पास प्रॉपर्टी है, बंगला है, बैंक बैलेंस है, बंगला है, गाड़ी, बिल्डिंग है, बैंक बैलेंस है, बंगला है. ओके. आज मेरे पास प्रॉपर्टी है, बंगला, बिल्डिंग है, बैंक बैलेंस है, बंगला है, गाड़ी है. क्या तुम्हारे पास है? अंदर आगे हुई. Whoa, I'm actually dizzy. What? Yes! Oh my gosh, I filmed this scene for an hour. Yes! Not gonna lie, I almost wanted to quit this whole Hindi challenge because I feel so uncomfortable learning in public, first of all, and second of all, it's so stressful doing these challenges every time. I have 4 weeks. When do I start? 1 week in advance, and in that week I also managed to procrastinate. This is not cool. Okay, I'm happy I managed to get through this second challenge, but it wasn't easy. There's nothing easy about this, and that's also the reason why I'm making these behind the scenes videos, because I want to give you an honest representation of how hard it is to learn new things, to do new things, to try to learn a language. But to be honest, anything new that I've tried in my life was just as hard. Making my first YouTube video, I can't even tell you, it took me 10 videos before I posted my first video on YouTube. So doing new things is scary, and that's what I want you to see in this series, hence why I'm putting myself out there in this extremely vulnerable way. Normally when I do challenges, I like to do them in private, because then the only person who I have to be ashamed of is myself. And now, failing and doing things wrong in public, it feels very embarrassing, and I do feel very ashamed when I make mistakes. But at the same time, I think it's good to show the process as well as the end result, because maybe you have always wanted to start something new, maybe you are trying something new, maybe you are trying to learn a language, or maybe you have been trying to make a YouTube video, or start your own company, whatever. And maybe you have been thinking that, oh, it's so hard, maybe it's me, maybe because I'm not talented enough, or maybe I'm not smart enough, maybe I'm not beautiful enough. I am here to show you with my journey that it's hard for everybody. It's even hard for Beyonce. It's even hard for Shah Rukh Khan. It's hard for Deepika Padukone. Every single YouTuber you see out there has worked their butt off and been embarrassed, usually in private. But yeah, that's why I also wanted to put out this behind the scenes series, so you can also see the struggle behind the work, and maybe that will make you feel more confident to keep going if you have already started, or to start doing things if you haven't started yet. It's hard for everybody. We all feel in the beginning, we all feel ashamed, we all feel embarrassed. But if you want to accomplish something, you just have to get through that. So no giving up. I am going to do this until December. I hope so. I will. I hope so. I will. Okay. Do you also recognize this whenever you start something new? Let me know down in the comments below so I also don't have to feel alone in this new journey. I love to hear your experiences. And now let's go over to Nidhi to see how she liked my performance on this second challenge. Hi Nidhi!
हाय इवाना,
आप कैसे हो मेरी दोस्त?
मैं बहुत अच्छी हूँ और मैं आपकी हिंदी सुनकर बहुत प्रसन्न हूँ.
Okay, too much.
So Ivana, many congratulations. You have beautifully lived up to my expectation. You have exceeded my expectation with the second challenge as well.
Ah, this makes me so happy. Thank you. High praise.
I mean, it wasn't easy by any stretch of imagination. Even if you ask me, somebody who talks in Hindi regularly, even if you ask me to remember a dialogue and deliver it as it is, it would be difficult for me. But you have done such a justice by recreating those scenes. Many congratulations.
I am so happy to hear that because honestly, it was a lot of hard work, but I'm happy that
I could see that.
It turned out well.
You were narrating Gabbar's dialogues, or you were
Yeah.
that over dramatic scene, ek chutki sindoor ki keemat, that was so beautiful. I do not
That was
know,
my favorite.
I do not know how many times I saw that video. I showed it to all my family members and everybody loved it.
And fun fact, I actually didn't know for sure if I would be using those scripted lines a lot in daily life. But last weekend I was watching that new Bollywood movie Gunjan Saxena, and at one point in the movie the girl, she's completely fed up with everything she's going through, and I was just screaming at the TV, Ashta Hadi Hogi, Ashta Hadi Hogi. So I'm actually using it.
I loved that Jab We Met scene when you are kind of hopping in the train and speaking the dialogue also, and at the end when you say मैं इतनी भी सुंदर नहीं हूँ, that was like the icing on cake. It was so beautiful.
It was so hard. I filmed that scene for an hour. I don't even know how many times I repeated those lines. At least 50 times.
So I won't be surprised to know that it was the longest dialogue of all the sequence that you had, the entire...
Yeah, that was the longest one. Yeah. And I was so happy with your help because honestly, otherwise, I don't think I would have got the grammar right even remotely.
And now it's time for me to give you the score for the hard work that you've done.
Okay.
So Ivana, for grammar...
Bring it on.
For grammar, I give you 8 on 10. For vocabulary, I give you a 7 on 10. For pronunciation, that needs a little bit of improvement, so a 6 on 10. Your fluency was very good. You delivered the dialogues as they were supposed to be delivered. So 8 on 10 on fluency. And for the sentence structure, you get 8 on 10 again. So your overall linguistic development score is 7.4 on 10, which I believe is higher than what you scored last time. So many congratulations to you.
Yay, progress. Thank you so much.
And now I have another challenge ready for you.
Okay, let's do it.
So Ivana, we all know that you love to travel, and we have seen how you've been creating videos about your travel vlogs and a lot of things that you do. You meet so many people. So what I want you to do in this challenge is become a travel guide to your followers and to your subscribers. Now how we are going to do that is, I want you to request the people who follow you, I want you to request them to send you videos of the place where they live. Also to give you a brief write-up about that place. And then once you have all this information with you, you become a tour guide for their place where they stay. So for example, if I come from Bhopal and I give you a shot from my balcony, then you become the tour guide saying, this is Bhopal and this is what you were saying. So become a travel guide to me.
This is so cool. I'm so excited about this.
I am equally excited to see how well you represent our country, and in fact different parts of the country as a travel guide.
No pressure at all. I am very excited to take on this new challenge, and I'm so happy with all your help. Definitely wouldn't come as far as I am now without you. So thank you, and I'm gonna do my best.
Okay, Ivana, all the best. We look forward to seeing you in the next video.
Thank you. If you liked this second episode, make sure to put a thumbs up. Also, if you want to encourage me, put a thumbs up. If you're not yet subscribed to my channel and would like to see all of the videos, make sure to subscribe, and then I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.